Spirit was explaining to me how structures are formed in our society. And when we create a structure for a business, is not our goal profit. We want to make money. When countries are created, normally their goal is strength and power. They want power because they want their borders protected, they want strength, they want to be a self-sustained. Countries tend to be self-sustained, understand? Okay. When religions are formed, their number one goal is subjugation. They want you to be subject to the doctrine, the ideas, the concepts, so that continuation occurs. So all structures must mold to fit outside circumstances. When a business no longer makes money, they start changing, don't they? We need to alter our behavior because our goal is profit. So we need to find out what do people want now, how do we need to morph and change so we can continue on our goal of profit. When a country realizes somebody else is gaining power, they have to move too, don't they? They have to shore up their sides, they have to change their economic structure, they have to do something to maintain this idea that they have of themselves. Even religions, I am, as you all know, seasoned. And when I was young, even until not too long ago, the Catholic Church was love the Catholics, no problem. But the Catholic Church doctrine was extremely convicted of you going to hell. Serious hell. That it was a place that you burn for eternity. However, in the last 10, 15 years, the Pope, and I can't quote the year, but the Pope actually came out and made a statement that hell was only a state of consciousness. Shocking, right? Shocking. How am I going to maintain control of people being subjugated to me if they're pulling away and saying, I don't believe you anymore? So we have to morph to keep our intentions, our goals. Got it? All right. So with our country, now I'm back to our country. We'll get back to you too. It's about you as well. But with our country, the Declaration of Independence was freedom for self-experience and freedom from conformity. You realize the Declaration of Independence was not a declaration of war. It was a Declaration of Independence. So in the Declaration of Independence, I've been working since Pluto return, several years, 2018 on this. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men, all humanity, they included girls in that one. They just forgot to write it. All humanity are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator, implying we are children of God. We're created equally, and we're endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life, the right to be. Liberty, the freedom to choose, to create a unique experience. Pursuit of happiness, create experiences fulfilling and filled with joy. When you hear those as our goals as a country, do you hear power? Do you hear subjugation? Do you hear anything profit? Do you hear profit? As a country, when we are able to hold those ideals as the bucket in which we form, we will not have to morph, will we? Because those ideals will hold us in a state of freedom, metaphysical freedom, and it goes on to say, as long as you exercise those rights that you're not allowed to hurt people. You're not allowed to hurt people. Pursuit of happiness. If it makes you happy to hit somebody, you're not allowed to do that. You have to find a different joy. But seriously. But the idea of you're God's child, you have the freedom to choose, you have the right to experience things that are fulfilling for you. If that is the bucket in which our country was created, what is the potential of longevity? Forever. It was placed in a space where we could move and grow as a people without being hindered and having to respond to outside circumstances? Do we have to respond in this bucket to outside circumstances? No, it's all internal. What are we doing to make us happy? What are we doing to become greater? What are we up to? I will also say this about the Constitution. I won't read it to you. The Constitution was not, you guys know when the Declaration of Independence was signed? 1776, July 4th. That's what we celebrate. The Constitution was in 1887, and the last battle was in 1787. Last battle was 1781. So it was right after the last battle that we had with Britain. I don't think we declared peace until 1783, but we'd stopped fighting. In the Constitution, we all, justice, a system to support all, in tranquility, which is peace and happiness, and a space to thrive, and a space of safety for the general welfare of everyone. Okay? Now, in those words, what do you hear? Do you hear an openness? Do you hear the ability to shift and change and grow? Yes, we do have that. Okay. That's your history lesson. Now we have to look at us. Life, the right to be. Do you give yourself the right to be? If we're going to change anything in our government, we have to change it inside. When people complain about the government, I ask them, are you governing your world well? Are you handling your details very well? Because as within, so without, as above, so below, we will affect the whole by what we do. The right to be. Do you ever say, I really, shouldn't be here? You'd be surprised how many people will talk to me and say, I don't know if I want to stay or not. I don't know if I belong anymore. I don't know if there's a place for me anymore. The right to be. I have a right to be here. Even when someone doesn't like you very well, you have a right to be here. Do you ever say that when someone comes up and says, I wish you'd leave? No, I have a right to be here. It's a deep subconscious thing that governs us whether we realize it or not. I moved around a lot as a child, so I know I have a right to be here whether you like me or not, because I wasn't new kid on the block. It's always like cross at you. And I knew I'd be gone in a year, so what do I care, So I got to know I have a right to be here. I have a right to be here. I'm doing my thing. Stay in your own lane, and I won't bother you. You don't bother me. I have a right to be here. Liberty, the freedom to choose. Are you asking yourself to submit to expectations of some idea? Do you give yourself the right to choose even when it's not the popular choice of your friends, your family, your associates?
Yes.
Joe says yes. And sometimes when you exercise that right to choose, do you regret it?
No, not anymore.
Joe is also seasoned. But think about it. We are so conditioned to reacting to the environment in which we live. We're so conditioned to responding to it. Oh, did I say something wrong? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend. I'm so sorry. Oh, did I say something wrong? You must have misunderstood because I was so convicted in what I said. There was lots of love there. Sorry, you didn't understand what I was saying. I have a right to choose. Are you also committing to forward motion, the pursuit of happiness? How many of you are actually allowing yourself to pursue happiness? Okay, I've got a few hands. Okay. Most of the people that I speak with are trying to pursue happiness when they retire. And I'll always tell them one thing. You know what happens when you retire? You die. You die. You know why you die? Because you stop living. You have to keep yourself going. You have to keep contributing. You have to keep adding value to life. We have to keep adding value to life. And in the pursuit of happiness, if I put it on the back burner and wait until, Will I even be able to handle it when until comes? No. I'll still be pushing it out, still be making it something far away. When we create experiences that are opportunities to be filled with joy and fulfillment, then we are allowing that pursuit of happiness. And it doesn't have to be 24/7, but it has to be on your calendar. On your weekly calendar, work, 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 serve, serve, serve. Oh, fun day, fun opportunity, something for me. Because if we don't add that, we'll never get to it. And you don't even realize yet the work that you do is your pursuit of happiness. It is, like it or not. That is how you are learning to enjoy and value yourself. So you'll do that work until you've learned it, then you'll do another work, then you'll do another work. And progressing, our soul is progressing. All right, are you governing your life? Do you maintain ideals that allow your life to flourish? Do you maintain ideals? When you think about the government, there's lawmakers, there's law enforcers, there's people that clean streets, all in the government. How much time are we cleaning streets in our world? How much time are we doing the menial tasks over and over again because they're important to us and we're not going to let us change the governmental form until we get this place cleaned up? And I agree, clean it. A little, do something else. Clean, do something else. I know you guys think I'm just talking to myself, but if I did a pie chart on everybody's lives, you would be asking for therapy. Because the reality is most of us will look to the minutia. We'll look to the minutia to clear it, to clear it, to clear it, to clear it before we give ourselves permission to enjoy, before we allow ourselves that ability to see ourselves as greater, bigger. Now, as metaphysical Christians, with this beautiful opportunity, we're in a country that says, pursue, enjoy, be what you need to be, and we have all doors open to us. This gives our spirit the right to come and flourish. It gives us the right to choose things that are so fabulous for our souls, so outrageously amazing for us. You know, we have that right. Will we choose that when our soul asks us to? Or will we say, no, I haven't cleaned the house yet? Spend a day meditating. Spend a day with a group of people in the woods meditating and enjoying life. Nope, I haven't cleaned the house yet. At least 50% of you would be, I haven't cleaned the house yet. Yeah. Because the woods are always going to be there, and the dirt's always going to be there. Just pick. And those of you, when you get older, that are so obsessed with cleaning the house, you'll realize one thing about your house. It's always going to get dirty. You have the dirty house always. The dust will come. Things need to be dusted, need to be vacuumed. It's going to happen. Clean it and play. Do all layers of that government within your world. Allow yourself to have new experiences. Allow yourself to take care of the minutia. But don't stay at that lower level. All right. Now, I have not talked about you emotionally. So how are you governing your world emotionally? Are you making wise decisions? Are you reacting to the people around you? In relationships, marital relationships or lovers, do you change who you are? Do you change what you say? Do you change your expectations for the other? Are you allowing yourself to be open? There's a beautiful thing, speak your truth and speak it quickly. Speak your truth, speak it quickly, and don't expect anything to blow up. You know what? Right now I'm feeling this, my partner, and deal with it. I'm feeling this. Speak it quickly, and move on. When we do that, when we own ourselves and own our energy and own our own authority, the conflict diminishes. It's when we want somebody else to agree with us that conflict escalates. I feel this, and I want you to agree with me. And if you don't agree with me, I'm going to be mad at you. Now conflict escalates. Who am I governing then? Who am I subjugating then? The person I'm talking to, not living in my own world. I'm not taking care of my own life. Okay. When we make people more important than we are, when we take home the problems that other people create, when we do not feel we have a place in the world, so we have to look differently, we are not allowing ourselves the liberty and the life that we have inside and that we have in our country. Okay, that was funny. How many people make other people more important than you? How many people take home the problems of your boss or your neighbor or your aunt or your grandma? Okay. I think it's metaphysical. You guys know you have a place in the world, don't you? Do you have that one down? Yes. You have a place in the world. Okay. When we plant our roots, we can definitely begin to claim our I am. When we can say, this is where I am, this is my place, I'm going to plant my roots here, I can claim the divinity of who I am. I can be child of God, I can heal myself, I can serve God by being love, and I don't have to involve anybody else in the process. Do you understand? I don't have to heal somebody else, I don't have to get involved in their gigs, I don't have to involve myself in somebody else's happiness. I have to involve myself in my own. Got it? Okay. I wanted to share a little bit from the Life and Teachings about our country. Before I do, can you guys see how, in the construct of the ideals of our country, the potential for realizing we are God's children is there? The potential for us Christing is there. Christing, become fully aware of our Christ being, is there, inherent in that. And the design of the country was by a spiritual hand. There was no family that said, let's make a world. There was no prophet we wanted. That we wanted to have a collective that governed itself, to allow the collective, diverse as it was at the time, to have the rights equal to one another. It was designed to allow each being to Christ, to know their own divinity. And the very first in the Bill of Rights, the very first article in the Bill of Rights is freedom of religion. The very first thing they wrote. No government shall tell you how to worship God. You have a right to worship God however you choose. So they knew the depth and the importance of our spirit, of our connection with Creator. So this is a beautiful, rich, fertile intention. Now, I know everyone will say we failed. Possibly. At some of it, we certainly have. We certainly have. So we've gone through our struggles, you know. My mom was born in a world where women did not have the right to vote. Isn't that interesting? My mom. So we've learned over time. She was born in 1928. She wasn't born that long ago. Learned over time how to allow these principles to actually become closer to a reality. We're working on it, but the potential is definitely there. So in the Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East, this is book 1. This is based on Baird Spalding's trip through the India in the 1890s. And he's talking with a master, one of the women there. And she says this. So this would have been spoken around 1895, 1896. She said, we have to look upon 3 events, one that happened long ago, the one that typifies to you the birth of Christed consciousness in man. This is the birth of baby Jesus. Then the one we can see coming when your great nation accepts and realizes Christ consciousness. Then we love to turn to the third and last, the greatest of all splendors, The coming of the Christ, when all know and accept the Christ within and live and unfold in this consciousness and grow as the lilies grow. She saw a state of potential in spirit where our country could evolve into understanding Christ consciousness. And it doesn't mean they're Christian. It means their divinity in them awakens to know they're a child of God, to walk the path of love, to live in liberty. It's not a faith, it's a consciousness, a reality, where we all are gentle and loving and accepting of one another. And we allow ourselves to be, and we allow others to be, and we work in harmony. So that was the prediction she had. In the Aquarian, Jesus, this is his last week on earth, and he's talking to the people, giving us, a lecture. And the Pharisees and Jews are getting very upset with him because they don't like what he's saying. And he said, I tell you, men, the kingdom will be snatched away from you. It shall be given unto a people who are not a people now, and to a nation who is not a nation now. And men whose speech you cannot understand will stand between the living and the dead and show the way to life. The very first time I read that, I knew that was the United States. We are the nation that was not a nation. And we are the nation where the potential is here for us to do that. In another of the Life and Teachings, it says, I couldn't find it to quote it to you, but one of the masters is talking about how our country has the potential. It was created with the divine light. It was created with the divine energy, and it has the potential to be that realized space. And it says that the dove will become our reality, and the dove will guide what the eagle now guards. And what a beautiful movement to see our potential and what we have. I love the U.S. U.S.? Us. When we realize that it's us, each one of us chose to be here at this moment, whether we were born here or not. Each one of us chose to be in this fertile space. Why not exercise those rights? Why not exercise those rights? I had a woman come for healing many years ago to our Reiki night. She and her husband would bring her almost every month. We had to do Reiki night once a month. And they were from Russia. And she was born in Russia, where the government was God. They weren't allowed to have God. And she would tell me, you did not have God. There were no churches allowed where she was. She was not allowed to do anything. The government took care of you. The government fed you. And when you die, you go nowhere. You are done. And that was her firm belief. Now, she had cancer, and she was dying. And that was her firm belief. And I'd say, well, I love God. And she goes, yep, there is no God for me. Completely unreachable of my energy. And I didn't try to convince her. I just loved her. I just hug her. I said, well, go get the healing. Let's get the healing energy into you. Maybe that'll help. And one day she stopped coming, and she had crossed. But I had never met somebody so steeped in a belief that there is nothing beyond this moment. Because I was born in America. I was born here. I share that with you just to let you know we live in this soup of potential, and not everybody has this gift. We live in the soup of potential, and we think, yeah, I'll activate it later. I'll do what I want later. I'll have fun later. No. When the time comes and your spirit calls you, you are living in a world that will allow it. Allow yourself. Allow yourself. If you are working for profit, if anything in your world is all about profit, you will have to respond to the outer. If anything in your world is about power, you're going to have to respond to the outer. If you're subjugating anybody, man, you got to respond to the outer. You got to keep those people in track. You're not going to find freedom, and you will not have the opportunity to exercise what we have been given here. And I know we don't like it all the time. I hear laws that are passed in other states. I'm going, what are those guys thinking? Well, that's not nice. That's just not loving. But they have a right to do it. It's not Georgia. I don't vote. I can't vote there. You know what I'm saying? Just send love and light. In my world, that does not happen. In my world, there's love. In my world, there's peace. In my world, there is God. In my world. I will govern my world in the ideals that Jesus Christ gave and the beautiful gifts of this beautiful country. And that is where I will land and plant my little roots. Well, that was your...
Contra message.
That was that was as political as Cindy ever gets. I do not get political. So let's just take in that beautiful energy of God love and the beautiful mystical energy that was given to us in this world. We all have it, we're just not all aware of it. So let's just breathe. And I want you to feel a beautiful column of light coming over you where you sit. And feel the peace. Father, Mother God, I ask that your love and light just engulf each one here, everyone who hears my words. And let the beautiful healing energy of true potential just begin to move into each person. And I would invite you all just to feel your heart and feel that you have yet to realize treasures within you. Begin to feel, if you can, a desire to know more of who you are. More of your soul, more of your potential, more of your ability to enjoy. And I ask Jesus Christ to join us, and I would invite you to welcome him into your column of light. And just feel him take you by the hand and feel him lift you up. Moving into just a space of light. And begin to breathe in, feel, or even visualize greater experiences that you could have. Greater life that you can live. Greater hope. And as you see that, be aware. As you expand, you give everyone permission to expand. As I embrace joy, I encourage all to embrace joy. And breathe in whatever of this energy you can. If it's a vision, a feeling, a word, just breathe it in. I am ready to take another step to fulfill my destiny, God. I'm ready to walk with you. And feel that love, feel the love of Jesus Christ with you. Feel your body sitting in your chair. Feel the peace. You are home, right here on this earth. You are God's child. And so it is. Breathe and gently open your eyes. Well, I hope you saw or sensed or experienced something fabulous in front of you that you could kind of breathe in for the next little moment. If you didn't, you will. You'll see something. My prayer for you is that as you walk this week, you just begin to feel your potential. And if you hear no from anybody, realize that that may not be your truth. Maybe you need to walk around the no. Maybe you need to go a different direction. But that no does not have to define you. Follow your heart. And we will all learn what liberty really means. Yea, God.
Good God.